December 2nd, and obviously we got some snow yesterday, last night, about 8 inches or so, and that answers my question if we were going to go back out. Farmers in the area were kind of, they'd go back out, they'd get froze out, and then we'd wait a couple days, then they'd go back out again, and they were able to, the frost, it got a little warmer, we'd get some warm rain, it would honeycomb that frost up, they'd get back out, and then it would freeze solid again. But we're done. We're done, obviously. So winter's here. Gonna plow out this morning here. Bobcat S205 and a 10-foot snow bucket, and it's really slick. And maybe to get ahead of some of the questions, I run the joystick SJC controls in this thing, and I'm a big fan of joysticks. Started out on the Cat. We got a Cat first, and so that was the pilot controls, and we stuck to hand controls. I have run foot control machines. I've run the, what does Bobcat call their in-between one, like ACS controls, and I'm still partial to the hand controls, but it's pretty nice. You can switch between ISO and H pattern. Obviously right now I'm running ISO, which is this hand drives, this hand does my bucket. That's how Cat was for me, and that's why I like that. I gotta set my vents up here so that I don't fog my window over. So, but anyway, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that winter's here. I kind of just abruptly ended the farming season. I was hopeful that we'd get back out a couple days for ripping, and they did do some, but we got froze out. And yeah, I should add with that though that we're not all that concerned though, and the reason we're not all that concerned is we got the mulch finisher, and yeah, it would have been nice to do that deeper tillage like we normally do, and a lot of guys are going to knock us for that, but you'll notice that a lot of farmers up here in Minnesota, you know, even like Millennial Farmer, you've seen him doing it. We like to do that tillage in the fall. It helps us in the spring, it helps us get in there earlier, it helps us drain our fields. It's the style of farming we have up here. No-till's not very popular. We've tried it, and it doesn't go well for us just because our type of ground is so heavy and wet. So we do have about half of the stuff we're probably gonna, half of our corn ground worked, so that'll help dry that out, and then hopefully Mother Nature will take care of the rest of it. But that mulch finisher we have, run it through just standing stocks before, and it does perfect, because that's what it's designed to do. So I know some guys are pretty nervous. You know, they're gonna have to either run their ripper in the spring and then get right behind it with the field cultivator, or they're really trying to push this fall. But you know, we just didn't have that sense of urgency because, you know, we got the tool for the job, so that's kind of nice. My window's still a little fogged over for you guys, but it just makes it that much more difficult to see with the white on white, but it's not bad. But we get a lot of questions if the 10-foot bucket is too big for an S205, and honestly I questioned that quite a bit when I bought it. But the reason I bought it is because our driveway slopes off so steep on both sides, and I wanted the overhang so that it would plow past the edge of the driveway and then into the ditch where the embankment goes down, so that I wouldn't have the ridges on the side of the driveway that when the wind blows across, it wouldn't fill our driveway back up. And that's the reason I bought it, with the intentions that if the bucket was too big for how much snow we got, I would just switch back to the dirt bucket to dig out and then use this to clear the edges. But honestly, I've never had to do that. Even in the 18 inches we had last year, this thing pushes it, you know. And I don't know if it's because I'm on gravel driveway, but we do you know, pack a layer down so we don't move a lot of our gravel and help our gravel freeze down so we're not plowing that into the ditch. So in that aspect of things, I'm kind of plowing on ice. This is the one I kind of need to get my GoPro on my head or something. I probably will do a few of those this winter. I know guys think that, but in some sense I am kind of still plowing on packed snow and ice, so it gets enough traction. There's enough weight here to push it most of the time pretty easily. Every now and then I have to get a second run at something, but it handles it far better than you think. But I'm sure guys are going to tell me this is too big, or they run a 10-foot on like a huge, you know, 770 or 870 Bobcat or something, and that's fine because it might work better for you. But I'm just saying it works for us to run a 10-footer on a 205 here, and it actually works very well and does the job. So one down and back gets the driveway done. I plow out our yard, some paths for the animals to get to them to do chores easier, and then I also gotta go to the elderly neighbors. I've been doing hers since I've been in high school. Her husband passed away, and I remember plowing it that day with the 3010 to get all the family in there to be with her, and just haven't stopped helping her out so she can keep living out in the country. And that's what it's about, living in the country, is just helping your neighbor out. You know, everybody's got to help everybody. So you can see I was getting a little gravel in the middle there. We did grade the driveway the other day with the 3010 and the skid loader, and we did have a little ridge in the middle. So that obviously was hanging up on the bucket, but everything else you can see that we're scraping down basically to a layer. You're not seeing gravel, and that's because I don't feel like raking gravel out of the ditch in the spring. But the dog, he's out chilling around. He's not a big fan of tires. Usually he'll chase the skid loader here, but apparently not this morning. But let's see, I'm sure everybody wants to see me hit this, but let me turn around. I'm gonna push this down the end of the driveway. You know, so I can handle the bigger piles like that, but we do lose some ground speed every now and then, which is fine. And actually, I think I want to be over here on this side this time. I do lose ground speed when I hit piles like that, where if I had a 770 machine or an 870 machine, the big one, I wouldn't probably lose speed because it's heavier, it's stronger. But we don't need a machine that big. We move some bales, we move some manure, and quite frankly, I like this size machine the best. It still makes ruts in our grass, but not near as much as like a 650 or a 770, 870 machines. This is like I feel that it's the strongest and most agile. I've run some 650s before, and you feel really like it's big, and it doesn't feel like a skid loader sometimes, like when you're trying to get it to spin like this machine will. It will, but you just feel like you're in more of a front end loader than you do a skid loader. And I know that's just my opinion, but I like this size machine. We've always had this size Bobcat or skid loader when it was Cat, and this is a pretty nice size machine. So I will also help this neighbor across the road here. He plows with a little Jeep and a plow on the front. He has to kind of make ridges, and it pretty much blocks off most of his driveway at the end, and then he tries to push that whole pile into the ditch, but it can be quite the pile for him to push. So I might just go over there and shove that in the ditch for him. We're over here at the neighbor's now, and her driveway is kind of shaped like a V, which makes it really difficult with the 10-foot bucket, but I get it really as clean as I can. And if I want to scrape it down, I get the dirt bucket one day, and I come in and get the middle of the driveway so I don't bend my snow bucket. But her yard's a little tighter with buildings, so then she gets a lot of drifting up in here and up by her garage, and I can't quite fit the 10-foot bucket between her car and the house, so I end up doing a lot of shoveling here. So this will be fun, but all with a good cause, all with a good result. So it needs to be done. So here I go. All right, shovel out around her car a little bit, and shovel the sidewalk there, and back drag the rest. And you know, it's not perfect, but the wind's still blowing today. They're still calling for some blowing wind. I may end up plowing the skin tomorrow. Highly doubtful, but if I get scraping too good, I'll be getting down to gravel, because this is the first plowing of the year. So I don't want to be putting any gravel in her ditch either. So got plowed around the mailboxes, and I've just got to go back and plow some paths for chores over at our place. So I make sure that I push it. Now it's hard because I'm going to just one-hand it, but like if I end up pushing stuff over on the highway there, I'll make sure that I push down into the ditch to get it away so it doesn't mess with the snowplows when they come by. Because they do put quite a mound down here, and I could just shove it back on the shoulder, but it's not fair to him. You know, it doesn't make his job any easier. So, or her job. There are a few gal snowplow drivers around here, so I shouldn't say his job. Their job makes their job that much harder, and it's not fair to them. They got a hard enough job, so I make sure that I push back down into the ditches, and yeah, so just about running back over there now. Well, that is that. Driveways are plowed and paths are cut to the animals, and skid loader worked great, and snow bucket worked great. So just a quick update on our weather conditions. So with that, take it easy, be safe, and we'll check you guys later.